Red Dead Redemption 1 is full of colourful and unforgettable characters, but probably the most unforgettable has to be the grave-robbing treasure hunting Seth Briars. This peculiar character is still remembered vividly even 14 years after the release of the title. His manic ways, his wacky behaviour and his out there personality cement the character in the memories of players. But just what drove the man to become the person we meet in 1911? Well, today we're going to be looking into this very subject. Welcome to the video. You're listening to Phil of Philby Gaming. If you enjoy the following, you all know what to do, and if you're new to the channel and haven't subscribed already, after watching, please consider doing so. With that being said, let's get into what we came here to see. The mental decline of Seth Briars, Red Dead Redemption Myths and Legends. Seth Briars is introduced to us pretty early in the narrative of Red Dead Redemption through the silver-tongued snake oil salesman, Nigel West Dickens.
I want you to go and see my old friend Seth. You can come across as a little curious, but I'm sure you two will get on. He's most often found at Coots Chapel. He's very devout.
Why see him?
Because between him and me, we can get those gates to open for you, and you can walk right in, just like in Homer's great Trojan yarn!
So let's tell the story of John's time with this peculiar individual before delving into the psyche of the man. Finding Seth at Coots Chapel just south of Armadillo, we'll play out the following introductory scene. On a side note, if you've seen these scenes already and are familiar with the narrative of Seth, please skip to the indicated time shown on your screen, or use the chapter skip made available.
Excuse me, are you Seth?
Who are you?
I'm a friend of Mr. West Dickens. My name's Marston. John Marston.
Goodbye, John Marston. It's been a great pleasure.
I need your help, Seth. We need your help. Me and Mr. West Dickens.
Let me be frank for 1 second, partner. I hate people. It was people who got me in this mess in the first place.
What mess?
Look at me. Look, scrambling around, looking for maps, half insane. I ain't washed in 6 months. My hair falling out, my mind's going.
What happened?
What happened? My partner. He stole half my map. I never would have done that to him. Never. Look at me.
Who did this to you?
My partner. My boy, my man. Moses Ford. I don't have the facility to tell you what I would have done for that man. And what I would do to him now.
Why?
Because he stole half my goddamn map!
And what map's that, then?
The map, partner! The map that tells me where it is!
Where what is, friend?
I ain't telling you that. I ain't. Don't make me tell, partner! It's mine! It's mine! All mine!
Sure. And where's this Moses now?
He's at Benedict Point. The law got him for exhuming. Some people, they feel differently. Not Moses. Him and me are the same. The self-same.
Well, come on, Seth. Let's go see Moses, get you your map back. Then maybe you'll help me.
All right, partner. Let's go.
So after he agrees to help John, the pair rides out to Benedict Point.
All right, this is it. Let's stop here a moment and come up with a plan.
As far as I know, Moses is being held in that shack. There's a couple of deputies keeping guard outside. Can you distract him so I can sneak in for a quick parlay with that son of a bitch?
I'm sure I can think of something.
Lead them away from the shack and out of sight. Somewhere out past that hill.
Are you looking for trouble, mister?
So after losing the law, we reunite Seth Briars and his former friend, Moses Forth.
Good job getting rid of them clowns. Now keep an eye out in case they come back. Moses? Oh, Moses! You got a visitor!
Oh my God, Seth. They arrested me. It weren't my fault. Ah! Get the hell away from me!
Get that slippery bastard! I need him alive, though!
It's mine now.
You hear me, Moses? Mine! Mine! Moses, you son of a bitch! Where's my damn map?
Damn you, Seth! Damn you, Seth! You've always been a twisty little freak. I ain't telling you shit. Ah!
Then I'm gonna cut you up, piece by piece. Till you find your tongue.
Friend, this man's gone crazy in the sun. I suggest you take my advice and start talking.
Shut up, Marston! I want to cut into a bona fide man's flesh. Ain't never cut into a live one before.
Oddfellows Rest. It's in Oddfellows Rest. Now, get away from me once and for all.
Well, ain't that a damn shame? I was starting to enjoy myself. I think you gone pissed yourself, Moses. Those deputies went and put a bounty on your head. Best we clear it now. Don't need the law on our backs. I don't have no money, but I got me a pardon letter. Here, take it. You earned it for helping me with the Moses.
Marston briefly reunites with Nigel West Dickens, who gives us a little insight to the character of Seth.
Ah, Mr. Marston. How are you, sir?
I'm all right. I met up with your friend, Seth.
Oh, Seth of the Dead. Yes, interesting fellow. You don't meet many men these days with the moral fortitude to cut straight to the chase like that, do you?
Thankfully not, Mr. West Dickens.
Yes, contemporary society is remarkably harsh on professional exhumers. But did you know that in ancient Egypt, it was an art form valued more highly than literature? I believe Seth comes from that school of thought.
How very interesting.
The next time we meet Seth is back at Coots Chapel, where he seems to be gearing up for a road trip.
Seth,
Hey, John. Hey, partner.
get what you need? Ready to help me?
Not quite. Not quite ready. You see, I wasted a bunch of time looking for that last bit of map. And I got to thinking, Moses was a liar. And I imagined myself doing all kinds of unpleasant things to his corpse. And then I realized...
Realized you were sick in the head? That you needed to move on with your own limited time on Earth?
No, partner. I realized Moses weren't no liar. The issue was Aiden O'Leary, who said he had the body. Aiden died in that flu epidemic, and the bodies weren't even buried yet.
Got the body sitting in the back of that wagon behind you?
Yes, sir.
You're not even gonna wait until they're buried before you...
Well, they don't care, do you, boys? Honest folk off to a better place. Apart from that Aiden O'Leary fella, I never liked him. They say he lay with his sister. I don't like women, partner. I don't. Not since Mammy died.
Seth, what are you gonna do with those bodies?
I'm gonna take them back to a nice quiet spot and look for the map. I needs the map, partner. I needs it. I think we should be getting out of here, partner.
So off to pay travel with their passengers in tow, seemingly heading to nowhere specific while Seth searches for his treasure map.
Where are you? Come on, don't be shy.
What did you say?
I didn't say nothing.
Are you talking to them?
So what if I am? I feel less alone with them than in a crowd of people. The way I see it, they lost their souls, just like me.
You're truly a sick man, Seth.
You remind me of why I hate people. For a man who kills so much, you sure seem to have a problem with the dead. Life kills everyone in the end. They ain't so different from you and me.
Aside from them being dead and rotting, I guess they ain't. All right, Seth. Calm down. You talk to the corpses and I'll drive the wagon.
They're coming after us! Get us out of here!
So after fending off the bandits, following Seth's discovery that the treasure is hidden somewhere in Tumbleweed, off to the abandoned town we go.
Thanks, mister. I reckon I'll sit here a while trying to figure this out. I'm gonna be rich.
When you're done with that, get over to Fort Mercer. I need you inside that place.
After I find my treasure, mister.
The next time we encounter Seth, he's still at Tumbleweed, still searching corpses, still searching for the map.
Oh, it's like that, is it? Huh? Not talking to Seth today? Oh, the old silent treatment. Oh, whoa, whoo-hoo. That's quite a stench.
Hey, Seth. Seth, come back here.
Oh, hey, partner. I was just looking for you.
Looking for me. What? Over there?
How you doing?
I'm good.
Well, see you later, partner.
Where you going, partner?
Nowhere.
Okay. Nowhere wouldn't happen to be where that thing you're looking for is kept, would it?
No, sir. No, sir.
Come on, partner.
Okay, I was just fooling. Partner, you know, the thought of that treasure does funny things to me.
According to the map, it's somewhere in that big abandoned house.
Upon strolling into the abandoned town of Tumbleweed, Seth and John are ambushed by some undesirables whom are in search of the supposed treasure themselves. After dealing with the ones surrounding the mansion atop the hill, then a further handful inside, Seth finally finds the location of the apparent treasure.
Finally, I see the light at the end of this very long, long tunnel. Seth's gonna be rich after all these years. It's silk sheets and Parisian whores from now on, mister. What the goddamn hell is this? A glass eye.
I'm sure whoever that belonged to treasured it very much.
Stupid liars. Those stupid chicken shit maps. Making a damn fool of me. A glass eye! It's a glass eye!
Stop with the tears and help me with Williamson's gang. And you can come up with another excuse to go exhume one of your old friends.
Hunting dead man's treasure ain't done me no favors. Sure. I'm ready for the living. I'll see you and Mr. West Dickens over at Fort Mercer when you gentlemen is ready.
Although disappointed by the find, Seth remains true to his word and helps John during the assault on Fort Mercer. Although present for the final moments following the assault, this is the final time John encounters Seth Briars as he closes the gates behind us. So let's break down the character of Seth Briars, beginning with what we know of his history. Seth Briars was born somewhere in the 1870s to unnamed parents. Not much is known about Seth's childhood, only that his mother passed at some point, albeit the exact time is unclear. Seth would later marry and have children, even owning his own business at one point, but due to his obsession with finding said treasure, he self-admittedly states he lost it all. Thanks to some delving into the game files of Red Dead Redemption 2, we can get to look at the appearance of Seth, whom was originally planned to be an online contact. From this, we can see a much cleaner, younger and healthier Seth, some years before the condition we find him in 1911. His name may have multiple influences. For example, Nigel West Dickens talks about how exhuming was looked upon in ancient Egypt, stating it's an art form, and that's where he believes the school of thought to derive from, but the name of Seth in his era stood for chaos, destruction, confusion, evil and anger, not very fitting for the man. the name likely derived from the occupational title, Sate, which spells the same. A Sate is a merchant or a banker, often considered to be one of high societal status, but this may be Rockstar simply poking fun at the man. Since losing his family, Seth began working with undesirables, such as the Bill Williamson gang, stating that he had a reputation of doing things most other men wouldn't, prompting outlaws and bandits to call him for dirty work, notably grave robbing for example. At some point, he met with Moses Forth, his best friend, and although judging by the way Seth describes his feelings towards him,
I don't have the facility to tell you what I would have done for that man. And what I would do to him now.
the pair's relationship may have been something more. This is why he may have felt very strongly about being betrayed by Moses, exploring the idea that there may be more to it than the rumours of just treasure. Unfortunately, there isn't a great deal of information on the backstory of Seth, so let's move on over to our next category, Seth's obsession with the apparent treasure. How the idea of treasure came into fruition is unclear, or even where the original map came from. Wherever it began, it took over the mind of Seth Briars. Nothing else in the world matters as much as this. Seth stopped bathing, eating properly, and just in general ceased to take care of himself. It's around this point he met with Moses, a like-minded individual with similar aspirations and goals, forming a relationship based on loyalty. But Seth had a home, a family, a business, and a life, so why the obsession? It could be theorised that this stemmed from a troubled marriage between the exhumer and his wife. In the epilogue portion of Red Dead Redemption 2, John Marston can visit the very home of Seth Briars, and if you search the chimney, you'll find a fertility statue. The purpose of these types of figures is to increase the chances of conception. Did Miss Briars want to expand their immediate family, but Seth was unable due to medical reasons? It's unclear, but this could indicate that Seth saw an opportunity in treasure hunting to sway his wife from leaving him for someone who could provide what she desired. Why else would he give up on a somewhat successful life in search of riches? His obsession may have been fueled by a personality disorder of sorts, but we'll come back to that. But what of his affiliation with the dead? Why does he feel more comfortable and safe around them than the living? There's a couple of small but subtle signs with Seth that showed this. For example, in the first meet between himself and John, upon the mention of treasure, as soon as Seth feels John may take this from him, he hides behind the gravestone of a corpse he was looting, as if he feels the dead will protect him, similar to how a child seeks shelter from danger by hiding behind a parent. In the same meet, when John convinces Seth that he'll help him, Seth emerges from behind the headstone and looks towards the dead surrounding him before agreeing to go, as if seeking approval from his peers. This potentially adds to why the locals refer to him as Seth of the Dead. But why does he feel safer amongst them than the living? We learn from the history of Seth that his mother had passed, something which clearly still weighs heavy on the man. It could be speculated that this is Seth's way of staying connected to his mother. After everyone else in his life had abandoned him, such as Moses and Seth's wife and children, his mother, albeit now deceased, is still with Seth, and he's staying connected to her in his own twisted way. Remember, this is a man who's not got his complete faculties, so even though the action is of course bizarre and unthinkable to some, in Seth's current mental state, this is normal behaviour. His comfortability with the deceased may also stem from the fact that they can't hurt him as the living both do and have. But more on that thought process in our next section, the primary of this video, personality analysis. Seth is clearly displaying signs of schizophrenia. He's suffering hallucinations, social withdrawal, poor hygiene, and often displays disorganised thinking, all but to name a few symptoms. He's also presenting some form of split personality disorder, often having conversations with himself.
Have you looked in the cave, Seth?
No, it's very dark.
What'd you say?
I didn't say nothing.
I just heard you say something.
You're a crazy man. You should get that head looked at.
Seth?
Seth's life previous to the time we first encounter was somewhat normal, but environmental factors throughout his time have started triggering a decline in his mental health, such as his mother passing or his family leaving him. These emotional impacts can develop schizophrenic tendencies, producing behaviours and thoughts such as the ones displayed. Schizophrenia can underlie in adults from a very early age, sometimes even genetic, and in males, especially after suffering tragic events, whether this be abuse, deprivation, or in Seth's case, abandonment, can produce itself more predominantly later in life. Usually in males, it's around their late teens to early 20s, and judging by Seth's estimated age in 1911 of around his late 30s to early 40s, considering he appears to have been suffering with this condition for some time, the timeline would suit. His behaviour is often erratic, adding to a split personality disorder. He becomes enraged at a moment's notice, indicating that he struggles to not only control but deal with his emotions. This is why we see him excitable at one moment, then angered mere seconds later. These emotions can be enhanced by his abandonment issues, such as his hate towards the female populace brought on by his mother's passing and his wife leaving him. This is why he feels so strongly about loyalty. He's terrified of being alone, and when abandoned, he struggles to comprehend not only why, but how to emotionally deal with it. We see this when he speaks of Moses Forth, a man to Seth who he not only invested his trust in, but became an emotional anchor to him. Upon the Moses betrayal, Seth reacted the only way he knew how, with curiosity and rage. His loyalty aspect is further shown when working alongside John. He remains true to his word and fights alongside him at Fort Mercer, even though he had no real gain in doing this. Later in the title, we learn that Seth did eventually find his treasure, albeit it wasn't the one he was looking for. In a newspaper found in the epilogue portion of the title, there's an article concerning the man. It reads as follows: Treasure found. A local man, Seth Briars, walked out of the mountains in Talltrees and into Blackwater with a massive haul of gold and precious stones that he apparently spent years of his life pursuing. Mr. Briars, who was a once-known associate of Moses Forth, denies any connection to the famous New Austin grave robbings by which Mr. Forth terrorised the dead in that region 3 years ago. So it would be apparent that Seth finally cut ties with his past, and with any luck, once more became the man he once was. So what do you believe to be the cause of the mental decline of Seth Briars? Was it his mother's passing, his family leaving, or Moses abandoning him? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. If you enjoyed what you saw today, you all know what to do, and if you're new to the channel and haven't subscribed already, please consider doing so. Thank you all for watching. You've been listening to Phil of Philby Gaming, and this has been a look at the mental decline of Seth Briars, Red Dead Redemption Myths and Legends.